All right, all right, all right. Welcome to Fabled Hunters.
I'm James,
I'm Ada.
I'm Saint.
and we're going to talk about some flesh and blood.
Now, in recent weeks, we've received some other provocative questions, just in general from the community, and the inquiring minds want to know. We want to get into the next batch. So, general question, how closely, if at all, do you and your team follow the online community, whether it be Facebook or Discord or YouTube? And do the things you see in these communities ever influence decisions about the game? Can you give an example? I mean, obviously, thank you for watching us. We really appreciate it. But yeah, what other examples can you think of?
Yeah, I mean, I think within LSS, we were all obviously fans of flesh and blood and fans of trading card games in general. So yeah, like a lot of my team do digest, a lot of the content which is out there, and if there's anything particularly, relevant or important that I should be aware of, they do bring it to my attention. Some of our staff do monitor sort of what goes on with Discord and so on. And I wouldn't say that today anything has particularly influenced game design, but there's certainly been things that have been very helpful from the community. For example, when the comprehensive rules were published, the Discord community, very kindly put together sort of a feedback report for us, which was very, very useful and helped to guide the version 1.1 of the comprehensive rules that was pushed out.
Okay.
So I think it was a good example. Even just watching box openings to see some of the issues like the white nicks on the corners, for example, just how prolific this is. Like we do QC, but
Wonderful.
Just once you see things at that larger scale, and from different parts of the production run that goes around the world, like you can just, it's basically more data gathering. And look, we push very, very, very hard on the manufacturers to get the quality standards to be as good as possible. And we want to see cards coming out of the pack in near mint condition, all of the time. That's what our goal is. So like just seeing that kind of content or feedback from the community, and that helps us to push in different areas of the business for improvement, for sure. We keep our ear close to the ground.
Of course. Yep. And we see those changes, like, for example, Crucible Wave 2 was superior, in my opinion, to Wave 1. There might have been some design and organization. Okay. Yeah. You've got your eyes on everything, so that's awesome. Wonderful.
Well, as much as possible, we try,
Yep.
All right, the next question from our community. There have been several surprises in terms of printing and distribution so far in the game. For example, the lower than expected Alpha First Edition print run, the full R Twinning Blade, the 4 extended R Majestics in Monarch. Can we expect to enjoy future surprises of this nature, can you give us any hints? Can you let us know about just one Easter egg?
Just one.
Only one.
That's one too many. No, I said at the beginning, we're all about cards surprising and delighting the fans around the world. So if I give it away now, I'm going to ruin the surprise later on. But previously, it's not that far away, and you can get all the surprises then for Tales of Aria.
Okay, Tales of Aria. We'll look out.
Look, I just tell you, we like surprising and delighting the fans. So there will be more things like the Twinning Blades and little treasures like that, for sure.
Yep. Like the recent Talisman and Monarch, that was a little Talisman of Dowsing, was it? Like that was a little Easter egg kind of, right? The print run there.
Yeah, like we planned lots of things like this, like the Talisman. Like there's things even from Welcome to Wraith that I'm not aware of people talking about yet, which just sort of have depth and embedded into the art. So yeah, just keep hunting, having a look at those cards closely.
Yeah, we'll keep Fabled hunting. Well, we got the Razor Reflex. There's probably more, and we'll keep opening up product and finding out, uncovering these gems as we move forward. Speaking of gems and the word gem, this is a question that's bouncing around in the collector circle. Well, first they were called the Power 12 for the 10 legendary equipment and the 2 fabled cards. Then people tried to one-up that and call it the Sexy 14 with the Cheyenne and the Shard. And now there's a library, there's the Full Art Majestics, and then Tales of Aria is coming out. So I'm just wondering, is there a specific nomenclature within the top and the executive ranks, the offices of LSS? Like, people are throwing stuff out like Fab 14, Fabled 14, Faded 14, Foreseen 14. Does any of that stick, or what were the specific terms that you and your team used during development? Like, we don't want to use anything like Power 9 or Power 12 because that's Magic the Gathering. This is something new. So what do you guys name the highest end chase cards within the office?
I mean, this is such a tough one. I feel like any kind of naming convention like this just has to be community driven.
Okay.
And yeah, just obviously it hasn't, nothing stuck yet. It might be disappointing to hear, but we don't even have a terminology.
Oh, really?
Yes, but there's just Fables and legendaries. It's
okay.
Pretty much it.
Yeah.
Well, you had mentioned that Cheyenne was a gem, right? Do you guys use the word gem and correlate that to a very high-end card, a very select card?
Well, for sure, the gems are very special, and she's the diamond Gemini. So she very much is like the 4th gem. Yeah, that's
wonderful.
It's
we got it.
Yeah.
It's Fabled and
Cool.
Cheyenne so far, and it's up to the community to keep expanding that lore. It's a living thing, and we'll keep on doing our thing within the community.
And the next one, we appreciate LSS establishing a new benchmark for transparency within the TCG community, with the print run news in March bringing a head and shoulders above your competition. That said, the players and collectors have since been quarreling over what the pull rates and distribution rates of Fabled cards and exclusive cards like the Cheyenne. Will this information also be released at a future date? And are you personally familiar with the specific pull rates of each chase card?
I'm guessing you are, right?
Yeah, like I'm familiar with the pull rates of everything. It's myself and my colleague who sign off the mixing sheets. So I am familiar with that. Are we going to release the pull rates of Fables? Probably not.
Okay.
Just that's part of the mystique around it. Like, we've released the pull rates of everything else. But yeah, the Fables is something that we just like to have that shroud of mystique around. And there'll be speculation out there of like approximately how many displays you have to open, and it's it's in that sort of ballpark.
Okay. Hey, you already went to print run, so that's more than anybody else has done, and that's visionary, and you're a pioneer in transparency in the TCG space. So we get it. If it's up to us, and you got to leave a little bit to mystery, right, James? So
like I've always said, that there's less than 500 cold foil hearts in circulation. Like I've always said that. I've always said that there's less than half the number of alpha lotuses, so less than 500. That's the line that I've drawn.
okay, the rest is up to us. I get it. I hear you loud and clear, James. And the next one, we've seen the release of gold foils for legendary equipment, and also see in the collector center that there's promotional cards remaining from before with the triple question marks still remaining. Will there ever be a gold foil Heart of Findall or other Fabled cards in gold foil in the future?
I don't think so. But I never say never, but I don't think so. I think that the gold foils is something that we want to be the random drops, like the equipment's, the items type things. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Random drops. Kind of like Diablo. You got to kill the biggest boss and be the king of the mountain to get a gold tunic, for example, like in the Calling.
Yeah, I like never say never, but I'm not planning to do gold Fables.
Awesome.
At this point in time.
Hey, that's helpful. Collectors everywhere, when they hear this, they're like, "Oh, buy more hearts. They're not printing anymore in promos." That's great.
Yeah, Yeah, I don't think it's the right thing to do.
Okay.
Well, never say never. I'm not ruling it out, but there's no plans to do it at this point in time.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Okay, so the next one. What do you think about the recent spike, then release, then extreme dip on Monarch First Edition boxes? Is there a plan to try to curb the pricing of future First Edition product? Or are you and LSS intent on letting the market be the market? And provide this as a window for local game stores to reward themselves for being loyal stewards of the LSS brand.
Look, I just believe that the market will always be the market.
Okay.
I just believe that that's how commerce should work. But saying that, I think that retailers need to be mindful of looking after their local community when it comes to setting appropriate pricing. But I also don't think that they should be selling products just for the purchaser to go and put it on eBay and, you know, double their money. Like, that's just bad business.
A free market.
So,
yep.
Well, I think that there needs to be somewhat of a balance found in the middle where retailers are able to, you know, make some very good margin from the first edition products. And look, without the local game stores, there is no trading card game industry, in my opinion. They are the backbone of the industry. They are the places where people come to congregate. We're really driven to look after local game stores. And we're very, very happy that they can make some very, very strong margins, particularly with the first edition product. But I would suggest to the retailers to just, you know, invest in your local community as well. That means looking after them. That means not gouging them. It means just pricing things appropriately. And it's really over to them to determine where that point is.
Yep. Handle their relationships with their customers and not, you know, go back on their word or their pre-orders while having product in the back, which some did, not all. Yep.
Yeah, I don't support that kind of practice at all. You know, when you say you're gonna sell something for X, sell it for X. Don't cancel the order and then sell it for 3X.
Yep. Absolutely. Yep. I know you answered this already, but there's a slight nuance. The Blitz format has 40 cards. The Classic Constructed format has 60 cards and equipment. Just curious. I mean, even though everything will be 1v1 for competitive play, but are there plans for additional formats that either require larger decks and more copies of playables, maybe 4 of instead of 3 of and 2 of? Or is it, for now, 3 of and 2 of? Or maybe even 1 of in the future. Just curious.
Yeah, look, fans can always make up their own formats. That's one of the great things about trading card games is, you know, you can make up your own rules.
Okay.
But as far as official formats go, we are committed to Classic Constructed, Blitz, and limited formats as our primary formats, and then Ultimate Pit Fighters, that sort of social play.
Okay, wonderful. This is really helpful, especially for me, because we've made videos on global play sets, and imagine like I opened up a whole bunch and then I gave the rest of the cards away and I 3 of, and one day there's a format that played 4 or 5 of. But that helps me and a lot of the other collectors that just want to be prepared for 5, 10, or even 20 years in the future.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. Like the game is designed to run 3 obs, and Classic Constructed being the primary tournament format. And as you'll see, as we go into 2022 and roll out our you know, extensive organized play program around the world, it's like we don't want more than 2 constructed formats, being Classic Constructed as the primary high-level tournament format, and then Blitz as the more, you know, fast and fun and furious format, which will also see a significant amount of organized play support, but not quite as much at that top level, which is really where Classic Constructed stands alone.
Yep, CC. Just wondering, will there be a day where Legend Story Studios releases some like from the vault type of product where commons and uncommon cards that were never printed in cold foil get a special promotional cold foil treatment? Just curious.
Maybe.
Okay, hey.
We have quite a lot of requests for this, but yeah, maybe.
Okay.
I'm not sure. Still thinking about it.
Still thinking of, well, not for now, but you want to leave the door open. Hey, all I'm saying is, as an avid customer, if there were cold foil promos under your print policy, promo sink belows or razor reflexes or SBSs, you know, for example, then I'd be a customer, and I'm sure you'd get a lot of other customers too.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Cool. Yep.
On to next one. So with tales of Aria's imminent release, can you please share just a tidbit of information that will keep LSS Revenant supporters salivating
We're salivating
for the coming weeks? There's a lot of talk of the Ranger finally having the day in the sun.
Her day in the sun, yeah.
But we want to know from Fab's Alpha and Omega if you have any thoughts or insight to tales of Aria that you'd like to kindly leave us with.
Is Azalea gonna be viable? Let us know. The fans want to know, James.
Yeah.
Right. So Azalea fans should be happy. Honestly, Azalea fans should get happy with this set. Because yes, I can confirm that it does feature Ranger, as we've seen from the art, which is floating around on the cover of Internal Correspondence. That most certainly is a Ranger, and she is very exciting. She's really good. She's really good. But with that, Ranger gets a whole bunch of new tools that Azalea fans will be very happy to get their hands on as well. So all your Azalea fans out there, thank you for your patience. She is gonna get good, at least better.
At least better. Okay.
At least better.
Yeah.
At least better. Hopefully she can make some top 8s. Maybe she can do some winning. We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see. But our new Ranger, she is very impressive, and I think that people who like playing Azalea, they're gonna like playing our new Ranger a lot as well. Look, as I mentioned before, the Tales of Aria is just such an incredible booster draft product and sealed deck product, but particularly booster draft. It's just quite unlike the other Flesh and Blood products that have come through so far. And look, I've drafted so many games over the years, both like just for fun and competitively, and like most of the LSS team are similar, and just all of the development team just had such a good time drafting Tales of Aria during development. I think it just is one of those products that in years to come, you'll be very happy to get your mates around and just crack a box and do a Tales of Aria draft just because it's just so good.
Yeah.
So and we have some great limited event callings coming through in the US. We have Cincinnati and Dallas and Orlando all featuring the Tales of Aria limited format, whether it's in the main event calling or it's part of the national champs or ProQuest side events. So there's going to be lots and lots of opportunity to play Tales of Aria limited format. So definitely get involved with it.
Yep. We're planning to be at between 2 and 4 of those events, and definitely in Vegas. So we're definitely looking forward to it.
Maybe one more little insight for Tales is it has a very different sentiment and tone from our previous years, especially from Monarch. Like Monarch was very grim, I would say.
Grim. Yep.
Or that that contrast between the grimness of the shadow and I guess the hope of the light. But it's quite brutal, and quite heavy in some ways. Whereas Tales of Aria is much more uplifting. It's much more
lighthearted, fun.
It has like a lot of environmental elements to it. So like I mentioned earlier in the interview, we spent a lot of time developing the world of Wraith, and Aria is a very beautiful place in the world. It's more one of the more high magic type places, and the flow is very strong through Aria, and you just get these beautiful vistas and so on. So it's a very environmentally beautiful part of the world, and you see that reflected in a lot of the art and themes, and there's some beautiful landscape, environmental type art in there, which I hope that the fans enjoy.
We're looking forward to it. Thanks for giving that extra tidbit. Obviously, the spring tunic, the character is, I believe, from Aria. It was within the LSS retailer appreciation kit. So
Yeah.
I recognize it. I think Bravo's from Aria, and he's a jolly old fellow. So
Yep.
yeah. Again, thank you so much for answering the above questions. Permitted you have time, I'd like to do a lightning round if possible.
Yep.
Just
All right, let's go.
Wonderful. Let's go. Let's do this. Let's trek on.